What's going on, everybody? Jarrett with Jarrett Rushing Fishing, and as you can tell from the title of this video, we're going to talk about something a little controversial. So I'll go ahead and prelude. This is going to be an all talk video. There's going to be no content, maybe a few stories mixed in there, but this is going to be an opinionated video on what I think the difference between boater and co are and the etiquette that both sides really need to follow. So without further ado, let's just jump in. This time of year, I get asked on several occasions, Jared, I'd like to join a league like you fish. What do you suggest? Should I go boat or should I go co? And the simple answer is do what you want. I know that seems very vague, seems very simple, but that's the truth. If you've got a boat that can hold up to the specs of any league that you fish, whether it be BFL, Bass Open, or any of them for that matter, then do it. If you want to be a boater, then do it. Now, I'll tell you, I fished personally for 2 years in the BFL circuits in a 17-foot boat with a 75-horse engine on the back of it, and I had a blast doing it. I cashed several checks. My co-anglers cashed several checks. There's a lot of pros and cons to it. I could run 38 miles an hour in that particular boat, fully rigged with all of my gear, the co-angler's gear, full live well, things like that. 38 miles per hour. Didn't bother me. We still went fishing. That's what you got to understand, is it's all about fishing. But if you're not going to put in the time to practice, if you're not going to put in the time to research, if you're not going to put in the time to, look on all of your mapping systems, Navionics, Google Earth, and everything in between, find your humps, your shorelines that you want to fish, and do the work, then go in as a co. That's fine. A co is essentially nothing more than a glorified guided trip with the opportunity to win some money. And although a lot of people say, well, I've heard some bad stories, the thing is you're going to have bad stories from a boater side as well as a co-angler side. So it's what you want to do. Make yourself happy. So without further ado, let's just jump right into, the pros and the cons, I guess. The pros of being a boater. Pros. Number one is you are in charge of your own boat. You have first casting opportunity. You are in charge of your own destiny. I mean, it sounds pretty good. The cons are the exact same. You are in charge of your own destiny. You're in charge of your boat, and you have the first shot at all high percentage areas. So if you're not catching fish, you can't blame it on anybody else. It's all on you. That's one of the biggest things that a lot of people get scared of, is I haven't ever fished this body of water. I don't want to go there and make a fool of myself. Well, guess what? John from Mongo Fishing said it best on his Facebook post the other day. If you are scared of failure, then tournament fishing is not for you. Tournament fishing, period. Whether it be in a boater or a co. You're going to fail. Even the biggest names out there have failed, have fallen from grace, have stubbed their toes. And even the biggest names, I'm not going to name them here, but go look at them. There's one in particular out there that has won the Bassmasters Classic on numerous occasions that has not won a Bassmasters Classic or any tournament of any stature in a long time. Y'all people fail at this sport, but this is what's cool about this sport, is it's the only sport that you can fail 99% of the time and still be considered successful. That's right, you have the ability to be successful. So from a co-angler side, think about this. You're pros, you're getting a guided trip. You're fishing relaxed. You don't have to make any decisions. You have lower fees, entry fees for that matter. The cons are the glaring ones. You don't get first shot at the high percentage areas. You do not have control of the boat. You don't have the right to tell people, let's go here. You are basically just in the back of the boat trying to fish and fish a different style than the person in the front is in order to try to catch a fish. That's it. Now, with that said, one of the biggest pros are that it doesn't take as much on the co-angler side to win. You can win a tournament simply by weighing in 2 fish, if they're the right 2. You catch 2 5-pounders in any tournament throughout the entire year as a co-angler, and I can guarantee you that you're going to cash a check at that event and possibly even be in the top 5. More than likely be in the top 5. And that's being here in Arkansas. I know that some of the other states, they have outrageous co-angler expectations, but in Arkansas, If you weigh in 2 5-pound fish and you're at 10 pounds, I guarantee you have the possibility of cashing a very, very good check. So let's get into the nitty gritty, and I want to go ahead and prelude this and say that I am not a pro in this topic. This is simply speaking from my experience. I have been a boater, I have been a co-angler, but there are certain rules of etiquette that both sides need to follow. From a co-angler perspective, remember that your boater needs to be happy. Even if they're failing, they need to figure out a way to be happy. And it starts with you either rooting them on or just completely being silent, depending on what they want. You got to feel that out along the way. A happy boat is a productive boat. Make sure that you are Johnny on the spot with the net. It doesn't matter if you have made a bombing cast that was a 70-yarder right in the middle of a school of 4-pounders. If your boater hooks up, then you drop your rod and you grab the net. That's just courtesy. That's why I say it's an ethical thing as well. From a co-angler standpoint, make sure that you are prompt, on time, bring minimal tackle. And one of the things that gets brought up all the time is how many rods and blah, blah, blah. Thing is talk to your angler, talk to your boater, and ask them. Don't worry about what, bring what you want, but worry about what the angler is going to do. Ask them the night before, excuse me, sir or ma'am, what kind of style are we going to be fishing? And if they say we're going to be bank burning all day long, then you can leave your, 90-foot crankbaits and your, 2-pound jigs and all that. You can leave it at the house. You know that. It's really simple. Don't worry about how many rods. Ask them. Say, do you mind if I bring 5, 6, 7 rods? Do you mind if I bring this? I promise you, they'll respect you a lot more if you ask rather than just show up. Man, simple rules of etiquette again. Make sure that you keep their boat clean. If you do jip in the tail, do it outside of the gunnel of the boat. Don't do it inside. You stain an angler's boat, you're going to see a side of mad that you've never wanted to see before. If you happen to tear something up, tell them immediately. Don't wait till the end of the day and just drop it on them. Okay? Accidents happen. And that's a given. You're in a small confined area, accidents happen. So if something happens, tell them immediately. If you have a pre-existing condition that hinders you from acting fast, a bad back, a prosthetic for that matter, tell your angler in the beginning. Make sure you do not hide anything from them. Tell them everything that they need to know right up front. Not only is it important for them, but it's also important for you in case an emergency comes up. From a co-angler side, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but turn the volume up. Offer your boater gas money. Offer them something. Personally, I haven't taken a lot of gas money. I don't know how many people I have rejected money from just because I had such a good day of fishing with them. Most boaters will either take it and not even look at it and put it in their pocket, or they won't take it at all. They'll reject it. But offering is a way that you can stay on their good side. Remember that your boater is putting in practice hours. They have insurance on their boat. They put in all that fuel, travel costs, time, and everything to ensure not only your safety, but that you will catch fish as well. So offering them a little bit of extra gas money isn't going to hurt a thing. The question that arises all the time is how much? Me personally, I waited until I saw what we ran, what kind of pattern we ran on the day of the tournament, and then I would usually offer something comparable to how much gas we burnt that particular day. If I think that we burnt half a tank of fuel, I'd offer them $40, $50, whatever, back whenever gas was a lot cheaper. I would, if I think that we didn't burn but a quarter of a tank, I'd offer them 20 or 30. And it's really dependent on what we did that day. But offering is the main thing. Now, from a boater perspective, there are etiquette rules that you need to follow as well. Number one is, remember, a happy boat is a productive boat. Don't degrade your co-angler. Don't talk bad to them. Don't belittle them. Don't trash them, even if something goes bad. Me personally, and the co-anglers I'm about to reference here will freely admit it. I have had fish knocked off by a net man before. And I did not scream, I did not holler, I did not yell. I simply moved myself away or removed myself from any conversation for just a minute so I could get my composure. And then I went back to fishing. At the end of the day, y'all, it's all fishing. That's all it is. It's just fishing with a chance to win a little bit of money on the side or win an accolade here or there, but it's still just fishing. One of the things that you need to do as a boater, and I'm not speaking to the seasoned boaters, but as a new boater, if you go in, do not automatically assume that your co-angler is a lesser skilled fisherman than you are. Couldn't be further from the truth. I've had my behind handed to me out of the back of the boat on several occasions by fishermen that were way better than I will ever be. The thing is you don't know their situation while they're in the back of the boat. Now me, I'll tell off on myself. I'm not opposed to it. Y'all went in my very first year of BFL with that mentality that I was a boater, they were a co-angler. I was supposed to be more skilled. They're supposed to be lesser skilled. Couldn't be further from the truth. So get that in your head, get it between your ears right there, and I promise you that will save you a lot of grief on the water. But those are some of the simple etiquette things, not trash talking, not belittling, not, degrading, offering help, offering money, things like that. You'll all learn this on the water. But I guess it all comes back to the very beginning is, should I go boater? Should I go co-angler? And the simple answer is do what you feel comfortable doing. Do what you feel comfortable doing. I promise you, if you'll do that, you'll have a blast. I can assure you right now that some of the best friends that I have ever made in my life have been on these tournament circuits and are part of the whole fishing community. I could call them today and they would do anything in the world for me at the drop of a hat. And you will experience that as well if you'll get out there and present yourself, be presentable, don't come in arrogant, don't come in cocky, but more than anything, be willing to learn, be willing to listen, and more than anything, be willing to be friendly. So I hope this answers a lot of questions. If you got any questions, drop them in the comment. I'm an open book. I'd love to visit with you all about this. Again, there's so much more that I could go into, but I've already talked for about 12 minutes, and I don't want this thing to be any longer than that. So I appreciate y'all for tuning in. Again, drop a comment. If you're not already a subscriber, make sure you click the subscribe button, click the bell so you'll know when we post new videos. We got a lot of cool stuff coming up this year. I've said that in every single video, and it is a promise. So I appreciate it. We'll see y'all in 2022, hopefully as a boater or a co-angler. Come and join us. Like always, y'all keep chilling.